one of the main reasons why I decided to run this election is very simple. You know, I ran the last time in 2016 on a social agenda. Same social agenda that I ran on in 2010 when I came in for the first time. And that social agenda was the following. It was to give our young men in the different districts more opportunities and more jobs, which we are seeing now today. It was to be able to make sure that our young kids that go to school, that we say all the time that our children are the future, and we want to give them the best education. But many of them went to school hungry, and you cannot learn on an empty stomach. And so that's why I brought the breakfast program to feed all the kids in the schools. When our people were going through the hardship in Simpson Bay with the Pelican saga, I fought tooth and nail to make sure to stand by them, even though it was against some that did not like. But at the end of the day, I believe that you must always stand by the side of the people, even though you stand alone. And going forward, I say all of this to come to the reason why I've decided in 2019 to be able to go into the 2020 election. When I sat back and I saw everything that was transpiring, especially after Hurricane Lewis, was the most scariest and devastating hurricane I believe anybody in my generation who are now parents have experienced. Because when we had Hurricane Lewis, we were all teenagers going to school. So now that you're a parent, now you have a responsibility to take care of your own family to make sure they're protected. After the hurricane, the disaster, when I saw the state of our country, I saw the state of our people, I saw the condition that our people were living in. The breakfast program that I bought to feed these kids when the children needed it more was totally taken away from them. And I could not, and even though I was not one who was the proponent of having any early elections, I could not just sit by and see what was going on in St. Martin and not try to be able to assist. One of the things that, for me personally, this election for me is an election that deals with the condition of our people. And that is why my team, when I left in 2016, I remember stating in my farewell remark that I will see you in 2020, because we all expected elections would have been 2020. During that period of time, I have been working on certain legislations. I've been working on a legislation to be able to make sure that now the breakfast program can come into law. I've been working on a legislation to make sure that I receive from Parliament of Aruba, that we can now have a full, all across the board pension plan for our people, just how we in government enjoy a pension plan. When we leave office, we will also be taken care of on top of what else we're getting our way. And so one of the main things that we decided to work on was to deal full on the poverty situation in St. Martin. Mr. Ricardo, if I may call you, we have, prior to Hurricane Irma, 75% of the population was living under poverty according to the studies that was done. After Hurricane Irma, that 75% has gone up. We live in a society, in a country, in an island that is only 16 square miles. That we have three pillars of our economy, which is our harbor, our airport, and our mega yacht industry. The harbor brings in, on a yearly basis, almost $500 million. The airport brings in its extra millions of dollars. The mega yacht industry brings in that extra millions of dollars. And yet there are 75% of our population in St. Martin living under the poverty line. Poverty. So for us as a team, we sat back, we looked at it, and we said we need to not be like the others that have constantly created lip service for St. Martin, of talking about raising the minimum wage, of talking about dealing with cost of living and so forth. All of that has been lip service after lip service after lip service. What I have done with my team, Mr. Ricardo, is that we have moved away from the lip service, and now we have a law amendment that we have worked on for quite some time. We have had it vetted by lawyers in St. Martin, also lawyers in Curaçao. We have spoken to the high levels of civil servants in government to get their feedback on it. We have also spoken to union representatives, not all, but we are getting there one by one. We have had conversations with the Anti-Poverty Platform and the Consumers Coalition to ask their opinion on what it is we're going to present. And basically, Mr. Ricardo, this law amendment is going to lift our people out of poverty. If you look right now in the newspaper, came out in the Daily Herald, that Bonaire, Sabre, and Stacia are now increasing their minimum wage. They're increasing the benefits of the child care. They're increasing social structures. They're increasing all of these things. Being part of the kingdom, that we are also part of the kingdom. What this law does for us, once and for all, we will define what that minimum wage is. And if you look at the law that we have now on St. Martin, and when it concerns the minimum wage, it is not defined. It only says you cannot pay somebody under this particular number. 1. 2, we are going to force government now, by this law amendment, that they have to create a poverty line study in St. Martin. Because you cannot attach a minimum wage and not know if that minimum wage matches the daily basic goods that people need. Proper housing, proper and healthy food, clothes, water, electricity, just to survive. If you look at the situation right now, the monies that our people take home at the end of the day, the average cost of rental income in St. Martin is about $750. That's their salary already. The average cost of electricity and water could be around $250, depending on the type of home you have. The average cost of food that a family has to purchase in the stores, it's over $300 that a family has to pay for food. When you look at the situation, that minimum wage can never satisfy the basic human rights of our citizens.
There's a reason you get up on a morning. A reason you pick yourself up, start the day. Maybe it's sheer grit. Maybe it's your ethics. Maybe it's because you know people like you are waiting for people just like you. We all have our reasons, and for Republic Bank, that reason is you. Every little thing, every big thing. It's all about making a difference in your life. Because after 182 years, if it's one thing we're sure about, is that the difference is you. We're here to help.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
GEBE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering a brighter future.
Our friend Megawati is here with tips to save you energy. 1. Turn your airco temperature up. 2. Use a ceiling fan instead. 3. Buy energy-saving products. Save some green with NVGEBE.
For quite some time, our members at the fire department have been exposed to a number of occupational health and safety hazards. A number of these, let's call it possible violations, have been existent, some of them before and post Hurricane Irma. A number of these concerns range from security issues, leakage, temperature, uniforms, and the list goes on and on. As a result, we suspect that these possible violations pose a real and imminent danger to the well-being and health of our workers. Information reaching the WICSU PSU union indicates that management and the relevant authorities are intimately aware of the details with regards to the concerns that our members have. For this reason, we decided to organize a very urgent meeting with our members with regards to the working conditions at the fire department. We believe that it is unfair that our workers, civil servants, have to be working in such deplorable conditions, and seemingly the relevant authorities are a bit slow to respond in this particular matter. Fortunately, we've reached out to management to request a meeting with regards to these possible issues and other issues, of course, and hopefully we will be meeting with them during the course of the following days. I want to point out something that is very, very important. A number of these men and women we have in here today, they risk their lives, they respond to emergencies, and just like every other civil servant, they have a duty to protect and serve. But when looking at the working conditions that our members have to face, the question that we always ask is, who is protecting them? It can't be that they are taking on these risks and their fundamental rights to decent work at the workplace is seemingly being violated. And again, just to wrap up, this is the main reason why we decided to call this meeting, to get more information as to how we are going to go forward with regards to the working conditions at the fire department.
Make use of WIB mobile banking with easy access and direct usage of face recognition, PIN code, or fingerprint. Download WIB mobile banking app and make your transaction from anywhere at any time. For more information, visit wib-bank.net/quick-login.
Fellow citizens, I speak to you today solemnly because no one will do it for me. Others have taken upon themselves to speak on our behalf in the press on subject that concerns us. And the continuation of the procedure that began last October 10th with a police custody that justified nothing if not the desire to humiliate by seizing the press, I am summoned before the criminal court of Saint Martin with my two vice presidents, Valérie Damazo and Annick Petrus, for allegations of favoritism. After consulting my lawyer, I want to share my feelings. I want to be clear with you because words are important. Misinformation is dangerous. Neither one of us three elected members of Saint Martin is accused of personal enrichment, as some like to claim. The terms used must be precise and the presumption of innocence must prevail as for all citizens of this country. I also note that the statements issued in the press obviously originate from circles very close to the investigation and which should be bound to the duty of confidentiality already condemned us. Where is the neutrality of our justice? Damaging our honor honors no one, and I trust the appointed judge to assess objectively the facts which we are charged with and consider the very special circumstances which we unfortunately suffered. It is necessary to set the context. I am elected on April 2nd, 2017 and carry the weight of 10 years of previous mandates of poor management. 4 months later, September 6, 2017, Irma. And from that date on, my team's only goal has been to protect a population that has greatly suffered and has been abandoned. Our territory then entered the period of imperative urgency. This means that our collectivity was allowed to that point on to contract urgent services by mutual agreements with businesses that were still operational. Issuing a public bid to distribute food donations after Irma would have taken 6 months, which is unthinkable in times of such crisis. Should we have waited 6 months to distribute these donations? Should we have waited 6 months to clear the roads? Should we have waited 6 months to supply the rescue team with gasoline? So I ask, what should have been done in such a degraded context? My dear friends, can you imagine that 3 months ago, to be exact on August 19, 2019, I learned from the Prefecture of Guadeloupe that on October 9th, 2017, a month after Irma, Saint Martin and the Saint Martiners had apparently already come out of the imperious urgency. On that date, you lived it. We were in total chaos. And the President of the Republic himself indicated that it was necessary to shake up the procedures, as he said. Is this a loyal attitude of the state services? Do you find it normal that this date be set 2 years after Irma? As you can see, the end date of the imperative urgency is a crucial point in this case. I leave to your critical reflection this point of comparison. The fire of the Cathedral Notre-Dame de Paris was judged so catastrophic that 6 months of imperious urgency were set by the Prefecture. For Saint Martin, after Irma, the biggest natural disaster of our country, only 1 month. Those who condemn us too quickly today were obviously not on Saint Martin on September 6, 2017. They didn't experience the immense desolation left by Irma, nor the cases of absolute urgency and pressures on all sides to settle human situation. Those who have lived through these situations of chaos have not forgotten them. We know what we went through together. So yes, we made decision and emergency where the legal consideration was not the first concern of the affected and traumatized inhabitants. Let us keep in mind the help that had to be provided to those who were in a state of need and even of danger. 60% of uninsured people, may I remind you, I asked the question, who was going to put the zinc back on the roofs? How can someone forget our determination since 2017 to undertake a necessary reform of our administration? Remember, we still paid a high price at the beginning of the year with a strike of 4 months. Politics require courage and sometimes unpopular decisions. I have always said that we would apply the recommendations of the Territorial Audit Chamber and its 2007-2016 report, and we are currently doing as such. Today, they want to make me pay for the failings of the authorities at the time, including those of the state. Yet, our term is the first one to get to the bottom of the problem and is at the same time the one being prosecuted. I take note of it. Dear fellow citizen, these are some of the points that I wanted to share with you to clarify the approximative statements and the misleading comments on our account and that of the Collectivité de Saint-Martin. We sometimes feel that as Saint Martiners, we are alone against all, that nothing spares us. But what does not kill us makes us stronger. I thank you for your solidarity and kind support. God bless you.
Bringing forth information pertaining to the distribution from the 5th container with fresh produce that will be arriving on the island and be sold on Saturday, November 16. So coming this Saturday, we will continue our affordable health, food and nutrition program. Our distribution of affordable fruits, veggies and provision from the 5th container starts on Saturday, November the 6th and will continue the following days until the 40-foot container is empty. We have to address some false rumors which are being spread about the quality and the prices of the produce we bring for our members and the general public, or the consumers in general. These rumors is a strategy to discourage both the members and the consumers, to discourage them and their trust into the program. So we are here now to bring forward some of what we are hearing out there. That our produce is cheap because it is dumped, which is completely trash. This is what the competition is putting out there. We are a coalition of social organizations. We are leaders of members which elect us to represent them well. So why should we fool our members by bringing in dump material produce to the island? This is what is being experienced already. We bring fresh, durable, export quality produce which can enter the United States, Europe, Israel, and even Russia and Canada. We adhere to all of the highest standards for export. These products are carried by phytosanitario, which is a health certificate of the Ministry of Agriculture, and that is what our produce go through. In those qualified, and we use also qualified parties over there that make sure that the produce reaching or are being selected to be shipped to us, and they meet the highest grade, which is 1A product. And also other complaints that we hear that we constantly increase the prices, which is also not true. That is what logically many shop owners, supermarket are putting out there is just to bring confusion and to distract the consumers. But also the consumer need to be aware that when we put out a special, and any supermarket puts out a special is a special, so it has a starting date and an ending date, or as long as stock lasts. So not because we sold the avocado for $1 or the pineapple for $1 on a special, the very same is being done by the supermarkets. So as Consumer Coalition, we took the initiative to bring now already the fifth container with fresh produce. We did this to prove that it is possible to bring fresh, durable, quality products to the island. And people are enjoying that, and the reports that are reaching us is that the quality, they last, and they're still giving us good feedback from the first right down to the second or third container about produce that they still have in their refrigerator that are maturing, correctly, etc. So all those rumors, and especially pertaining to the prices, our prices has been consistent throughout, but also consumers need to know that in this market it fluctuates, so it can be higher or lower. Most of the time we absorb that increase, and we didn't pass it on. So all the prices, if you look at, maybe with the exception of one or two products, you will notice that we have maintained from the starting date till this date, we have consistently put forward the very same prices.